We do encourage a lot of sort of dressing up, getting into it, role playing, kind of like, you can be your own character, you be your own avatar. There's set mechanics. So we've spent the last, say, 2 months working on a proper economy system, tokens, a shop system, a reputation system, ways to level up, basically tracking all the players, how everyone's like comparing to each other. There is actually like a proper mechanical way to play the game. You can experiment and you can be yourself and you can develop your own character on top of all that as well.
This is Radio Woodfordia. I'm your host, Harley Breen, and I'm sitting pretty on Jinnabara country. There's a lot of energy in this episode. I'm talking to two fine men who are from the Champions of Woodfordia. What's that? Well, you'll find out. But basically, I get schooled hard. I find out what a live action game is. I find out about role playing. That sounds like something different's going to happen. But if you know about the game at Woodford Folk Festival, you're about to hear about its triumphant return. Heaps of energy. Enjoy. Leo and Ernie. How are you?
Great.
Good,
awesome.
Thanks.
You've come bounding in with positive energy.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're really pumped up. Now, Leo, I already have context to you and to why I'm even talking to you.
Right. Okay.
I feel like in some way, I'm not taking credit, but I'm a little bit a part of it in a weird way.
Right.
And I can explain that to you. So you're, and believe me, I know how irritating this would be because I had a father that people would always reference to me. But your father, Rob Carlton, the actor, performed at last year's Woodford Folk Festival, and I'm the reason that happened.
Oh, cool.
He was on the program that I was putting together.
Yep.
You've been coming to the festival for a long time anyway, and then when this is how I'm saying I'm connected.
Okay.
You came with your father, who did his first time performing here.
Yeah.
And noticed that something was missing.
Yes.
And kind of had a little bit of an adult tantrum about it. And was like,
sort of. We were going to go to the festival regardless, I think, if Dad was going to be there. So.
That's why I said I'm kind of, because Rob did tell me we come every year.
Yeah. But we will notice it was missing from the festival in 2022 as well. It was just a bit like the best thing when we were like little kids, when we were like 15 years old. We were just like, we got to come to the festival, the game's on. Like, all we'd do was just wait for the game. I'd wake up at 9 o'clock and be like, it's only 9 o'clock. The game starts in 6 hours. I just got to burn time. Just got to burn time until the game starts. So I go to Chill Hill, rotate between the campsite, Chill Hill, pretend like I was getting amongst the rest of the festival. I didn't care. I just wanted to...
You're just here for the game.
I just wanted to dress up and just... get amongst it.
And is that how you guys are connected? Because Ernie, this is the first time meeting you.
Yeah, well, funny you mentioned his dad. My dad actually directed Rob's show that came to Woodford, Darren Gilshenan.
There you go. So, I'm taking credit for everything.
Our parents have known each other for ages, and then we kind of knew each other a little bit growing up.
Yeah.
But then, mainly at the festival when those guys started coming every year. I've been going for 10 years now. So I think this coming Woodford will be my 11th Woodford in a row, which is pretty fun through bush time as well and everything. So, the game was the same for me. I came, I think 13 was my first year. I came when I was 13, just young enough to play the game. And basically...
Just young enough or just old?
Just old enough to,
to play. I thought there was a cut-off. If you get too old, you're not allowed to play.
No, anyone can play.
Anyone can play.
Right. Yeah.
You just need a supervisor if you're too young is the only thing.
Right.
So I was like just at the perfect age to get started, and I'd basically just try and sleep in my tent through the burning sun till the game started at 1, and then play the game as hard as I could, and then try and fall asleep again until the next day.
Only here for the game. Now, treat me as you should, which is completely naive. I have no idea about the game. Although I knew about it sort of by osmosis. There was things going on as I've been coming here since 2007 and saw the energy of people running around doing. But what is it? Okay,
so essentially it's very similar in fashion. Well, the game, so the old game, it was the first LARP that was set up by Tim, who's an absolute genius.
The first what?
The first live action role play experience. Okay, but we're trying to transition into we're trying to transition in more of a sort of live action game, because it's more of a live action game. Yeah. Essentially, it takes a lot of the mechanics from World of Warcraft, a lot of quest based video games, and just translates it into into a real world experience. So you walk into the festival and you just come across back in the old game, you just come across a massive castle, and there were 3 dressed up characters, like volunteers, playing a princess, a king, and a queen. And you'd go up and be like, oh my god, like this looks awesome. There's a castle you could go in. There was like a whole board with a bunch of quests, and it would say, King Keith needs help. Like go talk to the king. So you go talk to the king, and he'll like sort of size you up. Everyone's like playing all these like characters, and you're like, yes, like I've lost my special crown or something like that. And then he would give you directions to go speak to a different character who was all in like a different part of the festival. It was like, all right, I think one of the beasts might have taken it. Go talk to the beast, and then you got to try and find out where the beasts live. Talk to that character. He'd give you another clue, and then you got to go off and talk to another person, and you just get sent on these like wild quests and goose chases, and then you'll eventually find the crown that like you needed the whole time. Return it to the king, and then he would give you a bunch of like currency or a bunch of sort of tokens and stuff, which would be able to earn your place into the grand finale, which is the last day of the festival. So that's how it kind of ran.
So that what you just described would all happen contained within one day?
No, so over 6 days. So you'd play. So the quest, you do the quest for about 5 days, and then you'd be building up your reputation, building up your currency, leveling up your character, and then if you were big enough, you were good enough, and you had enough sort of prestige in the world, then you'd get invited to the grand finale, or like what was it called? That year it was called King Keith's Tourney, in which you'd get there, and then you have a shot to win the whole thing.
But yeah, the quests that Leo was describing there kind of would happen like within a day. So you have a day to do your quest, and then it was like, cool, I've done something for the king, and go do something somewhere else in this world.
So you can have a winner on the day.
Yeah.
So there's daily winners, but then there's going to be it's like the Tour de France.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so over the days, if you're playing for the full experience, then you can kind of generally kind of grow your reputation amongst all the characters that you'll run into, and build up to that big tournament on the final day, where you can kind of use any advantages you've gained through different quests you've done. Very kind of D&D. I know there's a lot of people who are really into D&D. They ran it at the festival.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons.
I know nerd things.
Yeah. Yeah, it was at Woodford a couple of years ago, and it was really popular. So we kind of wanted to
Dungeons and Dragons was?
Yeah,
right, okay.
They were running like a bunch of tables, I think, 2 years ago. And that was really fun. So
but like that, is there a role-playing element to the game?
Very much so.
Yes, yeah. So what we really encourage everyone to do, and what Tim did back in when he was running the old game, is essentially.
And this is the original.
This is the original. His original.
Tim Molly.
He's a genius, and he made this entire thing, and he inspired us, and he's really the reason why we're here, is because he created an environment and a.
No credit
game.
to your fathers.
No. And he basically just inspired this generation of people who love doing this. And so that's why we're here, and we're sort of taking the new reins and making this new experience, which is called Champions of Woodfordia, which is the new name.
Sick.
Or like AKA Champions. Yeah, so we do it like there's a lot of we do encourage a lot of sort of dressing up, getting into it, role playing, kind of like, you can be your own character, you be your own avatar. But opposed to Dungeons and Dragons is actually like there's set mechanics. So we've spent the last, say, 2 months working on a proper economy system, tokens, a shop system, a reputation system, ways to level up. That's like essentially how a video, like all the back work of a video game program would do, basically tracking all the players, how everyone's like comparing to each other. So there is actually like a proper mechanical way to play the game. You can experiment and you can be yourself, and you can develop your own character on top of all that as well. So
you've essentially built a computer game for in real life.
Run around in the festival and play, yeah.
And you've done all based on the way you played it as children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you've built a whole thing for this year.
Yeah.
And I can read your energy. You're pumped.
Yeah, we're so pumped about it because
it's gonna be fun.
The great thing about it is that when we played, it was probably around the 10th year that game, like Tim had ran that like big game. So he'd gone through so many iterations of like what worked, what didn't work. And then on like the second last and last years of the game, all of the things that worked were just culminating into this one big year, and it just worked. It was so much fun. And so we're essentially trying to replicate a lot of those systems that were already sort of proven to work, and also adding on top of that.
And Tim shared that with you?
Yes.
Or you just know it because you played it?
Yeah, just being able to play and see the culmination of all those years of gameplay, and then take it from there and then try and make our own thing into it with those same ideas while like coming up with a whole new world and characters and everything like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the great thing about the festival is that the children of the festival then become adults at it. And, because I remember Rob even said to me that you were really put out that it wasn't here still. And rather than just be put out that it's not here, like, well, we'll bring it back. And didn't you go up to Amanda during the festival and live pitch her then?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, at the festival last year, we managed to get a meeting
Because she had
with her.
nothing on.
Yeah.
That was wild. That was really, really wild.
It was a crazy ton of events.
How it sort of ended up being, how we ended up getting to that stage was so we went to the 2022 festival and the game hadn't returned. And me and my brother were just like, oh man, that sucks because it was so much fun. And then we had a different experience. We were getting older, so we, explored a lot of more of the music and stuff. But we still thought that a lot of that was missing. I still would have loved to play the game that year. And then over the next like sort of year or so when we were bored, we were just like, man, what would be really cool if like we could make our own, like we could make the game. Like what would we want to see if we could build our own new world, like build our own new mechanics. So we just started coming up with all these new ideas, like a cool shop system would be cool, like purchasable items that could help you in quests, because that wasn't sort of never really a thing before. Sort of a strip, all these different guilds. But we weren't really sort of happy with the characters we'd made. We were more like sort of game mechanics people. We weren't really that creative in sort of like the character, like making wacky sort of zany sort of characters. And then we get to the 2024-25 festival last year, and we were talking to Ernie and Jack, who we played the game with like back in the day. And then we said, oh, it sucks that the game isn't on. Me and Jim have actually been coming up with ideas, but we low-key think our characters kind of stink, like we don't think, like they're not cool. And Ernie and Jack...
Which is very funny because Jack and I, who had gotten there the day before to set up for Christmas Day camping, were just hanging out in the lake, and we'd spent like 3 hours in the lake just chatting, coming up with, man, it's really sad the game's not here again. What would we do if we could come up with a game? We would come up with these characters and guilds and all this stuff. And it was like, we had these set characters and all these ideas based off like emotions and stuff. And then when these guys rocked up the next day and they were like, oh, we've got all these cool mechanics.
Yeah.
Jack and I just went, we've just got all these characters we just came up with and kind of put them together at the festival. And then
we literally couldn't stop talking about it. Like,
No, I can see.
We could not stop talking about it. Like
Every day
every
at
single
the
day we'd meet
campsite.
up, campsite. All right, more ideas. What do we got?
Yeah.
Like this isn't working. I don't like this. Let's change this. Let's do this. Oh, it'd be cool if we could have this, mechanic in here where you could be invisible if you had a certain card, or how much would this cost, or like how does the leveling up system work? Every single time we'd just be sitting there around like the Lake Jakula. We'd go to the lake and be like,
head out, team
let's
meetings.
talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Sitting around the campsite with our notebooks, writing up all our ideas.
Yeah. So then we got really passionate about it, and we were just like, it was that sort of one thing where you sort of like tunnel vision your creative brain, and you're just like so excited about it.
Yeah.
And then we started talking to a bunch of the old actors who had played it, and we were sort of gathering, seeing if people would be interested in something like that coming back. And then I was in Mulaney, just off to like go to the waterfall, and my dad calls me. He's like, Leo, you're going to be back at the festival in an hour. I'm like, see on the directions, like 55 minutes. I'm like, yeah, it's like cutting it close. And he's like, all right, you got a meeting with Amanda in 1 hour. Get to like you got to get back. And I was like, okay, this just got like way more real than like, because before we were just like coming up with ideas.
So you got an hour to prepare for a pitch.
Yeah, but I was in the car driving back, so I didn't have like we just went straight to Bob's, and then at the back of Bob's, and then had a meeting, which was really cool.
Yeah, so we were kind of the team that was still at Woodford. We'd kind of figured out that this was happening, and we kind of got our little pitch together, and then we're just looking at our watches being like, I hope Leo's back in time to the meeting to start. And so we're all just standing out there hanging out, and just made it back in the nick of time. And Amanda was like,
and
that's
this all,
awesome.
This sort of sounds fanciful, like that's crazy, but it also, to me, as I harvest and mine more of the stories from the people that make up this wonderful event, that's just normal. That's kind of
the Woodford magic.
As crazy as this is, you're like, well, yeah, but if you want it to happen, then come up with the idea, pitch it, and you'll most often get okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you pull it together.
Well, just like the amount of trust that Amanda had to just be like, look, you guys seem really passionate about this. You guys seem to know what you're doing. Like, you guys are now, like, you can do it, which is just amazing. Like, I've never been, like, trusted so much, or, like, seen to be able to do something, like, as much as she did. And I'm really thankful for that, because, like, we wouldn't be here. And it's awesome. It's like, this is all I want to do. Like, I just want to make games. And this is, like, a massive game. So
yeah, it's John. Well, that's why I'm here. I don't even know how to podcast. Just trying to get out of the house. But it's a big job, right? Like I feel, because I'm not, I've never been a gamer.
Yeah.
But my thing is, if you're passionate about it, I'm passionate about it.
Yeah.
And you're clearly very passionate about it. But it sounds to me that that's a huge job, what you've already done. But you're really at this stage, you had the crazy ideas, that burst of creative energy that I know really well when I have an idea. You can't turn it off. Then you've been given a green light.
Yep.
Now you've got to build it, which you're a couple of months into.
Yeah.
Then you've got to pull it off. Like I'm not trying it. Because you have to cast the whole thing.
Very much. Yeah. All that stuff is very much in the forefront of our minds at the moment. Just kind of having, we had a little kind of team meeting last month where we kind of locked down all like the mechanics. So it was kind of locked. We've got the story, all the theory stuff that we could have done is done. And so, yeah, now coming into that final stretch towards the festival, kind of in the second half of the year, it's all the practical stuff.
Yeah, logistics.
Yeah.
Building all this stuff that we've got written down into an actual thing that you can run around in the festival and play.
Yeah.
Because it also has to fit in with all of the other things that are happening at the festival.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you can't, for instance, send people playing the game to a certain part of the festival if at that time there's also meant to be this other thing. You know, there could be giants walking through.
Yeah, exactly.
People on stilts doing that, or there's a dance party on there. So,
yeah, finding a way to weave it into the greater Woodford is something we've been working on a little bit as well. Rather than just kind of having it as its own thing, but interacting with the festival in little ways.
And like having a bunch of different like locations as well. Because when we were here a month ago, or like was it 2 months ago now?
Yeah, about 2
months ago. We met with the locations manager and we would sort of we were going around pitching different spots that we'd need for all the locations. And essentially the game, or Champions, is played solely in those locations. So you're moving from location to location, but there's only around 5 different areas that you need to go to.
Right.
So
Sure.
But yeah, so being able to send people around the festival so they still get to experience it and get distracted by the natural magic of Woodford.
That's what I was thinking, right? Like, I would get distracted. I'd be in the middle of the game, and then I'd just be like, what was I doing? Because this is something else.
Yeah, you just spot something at the pirate. That's cool. Oh, shoot, I need to go talk to those guys.
Have you factored in losing people, and did that happen when you were playing it? Did you just like...
Oh, yeah.
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 So it starts with a bigger pool of people, and by the end, the guy that wins is the only one that remembered the game still getting played.
A little bit, yeah. When we used to play the old game, there was you'd see people all over the place with the cards they used to have to like show that you were playing, and then by the time you got to the final day, there was only like a pool of really dedicated players that were all trying to push into the end and all come up with their own characters, which is something we really want to encourage. Kind of working on mechanics for people to not only interact with the characters that we've made up, but also come up with their own character. And then maybe if they come one year and the game's still running the next year, they're like, cool, that was really fun. What we did when we were growing up was spend a year building costumes to then come back to the next festival.
As our own little like faction, which is
cool.
That's really cool.
Trying to make my way through the gates one time through security with a like foam sword, and they were like, I don't know if you can get that into the festival. But
sounds like one
I was
of
like,
my
no, it's for the game. I promise. I'm not trying to kill people.
It wasn't made out of foam either. He made it himself in a forge. That's another story. So here's the thing. I've done a lot of improv theatre, and I know that Dungeons and Dragons is essentially an improv game.
Yeah, it is. It is an improv game.
And the reason I wasn't allowed to play it as a kid is because I grew up in a puritanical Methodist household, and it was the devil, and you weren't allowed to play it. But as an adult, I've seen different kind of productions of it. One of my favourites was a thing that Tripod did. Wrote a whole show about Dungeons and Dragons. Point is, there's a huge improv element to this, but there's a huge amount of script you have to write as well, because improv works when there's actually some boundaries around that.
Yes. Well, the great thing is that we've allowed a lot of flexibility with everything. So we're giving a lot of creative freedom to our actors, who are basically getting the character rundown. We've set up a bunch of characters that we need, and then the actor can then have the choice to just try and be as take part of themselves and play that character as how they want, essentially. And we thought that a good idea was we're not going to have like hard set scripts. Essentially, there's like, you give me an item, I then have to give you the item, like this, a new item back as part of the mechanics, but how you want to dress that up and how you want to perform that is entirely up to the character.
Right.
So in an interaction, so you as a player, you go up to your character, you've got your quest, someone sent you to this guy. He, as the actor side, he's got at least one thing he's got to say to you, he's got something he's got to give you, and he's got another person to send you to. How he gets through that information is kind of up to them. We'll give more zhuzh if they need it. But then, you kind of have a play in that scene. With each player is going to be completely unique when you interact with them. But as long as you kind of give them the person they need to go to next and the item they need to get from you next, then you can send them off and they do their next scene somewhere else.
So it goes from like role play and like theater from like a little scene into then like game elements of like puzzle solving, problem solving,
figuring it out.
Where do I go? Figuring it out into another sort of little scene that you can be a part of as well, which is really cool.
Are people on their own, or they do this with their mates helping? Obviously,
you can play however you want. So you can go. Some people like to go solo, like to sort of really power through it, grind it. I remember when we were playing, there was this guy called Juggernaut, and he was just an absolute weapon, and he would just go around just by himself, just trying to just get it as quickly as possible. So in Champions, we've decided that it would be really cool to be able to, like, you need to party up with people. You need to find...
We want to encourage that kind of party play. You need a few players from different guilds to kind of get through certain challenges and stuff like that.
So you need to find, if you want to partake in a certain
So you
quest,
put that into the mechanics so that to encourage community people being together.
Essentially, because if you want to go on a quest, so let's say you're interested in if we want to disclose one of the guilds, if you want to go on
it's not the Woodford way.
You're not
allowed to tell.
You want to go to a certain guild. And do it's a different quest that you're not a part of. That all those characters, they don't trust you. You're wearing a different guild's amulet, and you're trying to do a quest from another guild, and they're like, we don't trust you. You got to try and find one of our own guild members, and then you got to talk to this person over here. Be like, hey, do you want to do this quest with me? I need someone who's high level in your guild. Do you want to like team up? And then you can go off.
Right.
Yeah.
That's really. I don't know. I'm not going to have the time to play it. So is it something that people can be spectators of? Is there an element of audience?
Yeah, so one thing we've tried to work on is like day players and then like week players. So people who even just come to the festival for one day and want to come in and do one task, one quest, and they're like, that was a fun thing to interact with. I'm going to go do something else now. We tried to like make a part of our game just suit that person.
Well, that's really smart,
then
right?
We've got our kind of weekly greater story for the people who are more like really invested into the world and they're kind of like, this is cool. I want to do this for 4 hours each day before I run around. And then, when it comes to like the opening of the world and then the finale, we're hoping to have like a big kind of spectator event for the finale. So on that final day,
which is called the Championship of Champions in, this, in our world.
Yeah.
Going with the Champions of Woodfordia name, so that's what it's called.
I love it.
Yep.
Yeah, so
that's something that people, because
if there's anything to come and watch from our championship, if you're not going to play, then come and watch the championship and see how it plays out.
And what capacity do you have for people to play it? Like, where is the? You can't have thousands of people playing.
No, so we're basing our numbers off the old game essentially, but we've also made it much larger. We've created a pretty big buffer. So we've gone, here is the maximum amount of people that play the old game. Let's double it and then add a little bit more and then we'll be fine. So
just in case.
So we've
So where was the ceiling before? Let's double that, add more, that'll make it easier.
Yeah, well, because we're planning to go for a multiple years. So we definitely can use some of the pieces that we need for this year as well.
We've got more now than we'll have buffer for following years and stuff like that.
But there'll be.
So you're already planning. This is not just a one and done.
No,
hopefully
this is
not.
a building.
Yeah. If people really enjoy it and it gets the player base that we're kind of looking for, then it'd be really cool to kind of have a growing story that people could interact with each year and drop in for 1 year. Or if you played the year before, it's like, I remember these storylines, they're growing kind of thing, which would be really fun to engage with.
Yeah, our team of writers has been like really, really good sort of actually writing like a
Your team of writers?
Yes, we have a writing team.
It's amazing.
So
what are we talking about here in terms of a team? What are the numbers of people that your core that are working on
this? There's 3 on the writing team.
Yeah.
3 on the writing team. There's I have one other person for mechanics and logistics, and then we were hiring a carpenter to help me with the sets as well, and then Ernie.
I don't think there's too many gamers that can say that they had to hire a carpenter.
Yeah,
which is great.
Yeah,
and we've got a really awesome person named Jane working on the costumes, and she's got her own costume team.
Yeah,
building all the costumes and stuff.
This is a really big deal. This is
big.
not a.
We want to make something really cool.
Yeah, it sounds really cool because this may shock you to hear, boys, but I'm a filthy hippie. And proud of it. And so I'm really torn on this particular issue around gaming because even though I didn't play it, I'm into those who are into things, and if you want to play it, and I have one of my children is a lot older than the other three, and so he's done a little bit of it, and I see some real positivities in gaming for heaps of different reasons, but also screens are the devil, and they're destroying kids' lives. This seems to me, like for me, that I can see no reason other than my three little children are just a bit too little at the moment for my kids to play this all the time.
Yeah.
This is the future of gaming? As AI takes over our lives,
then
gaming just goes into the real life.
Get off the internet and go play LARPs and live action games and stuff like that would be awesome. Yeah.
Because the really fun thing about this is like I feel like if you really a video game can turn into a task really quickly if you're purely just playing it to just beat the game as quickly as you can. You go on Reddit, you go on a bunch of forums, walk through, how do I beat this? There's a lot less sort of figuring it out if you just want to sort of brute force a game, which isn't really fun. But a lot of people do that. Here in Champions of Woodfordia, you can't. There's none of that. It's like how do I win? Like how do I play the game? Oh, go have a conversation with that guy. Like he'll tell you how to do it.
You have to interact.
Yeah. And you have to. Yeah, that's.
You got to get out of your tent.
Yeah.
And you've got to go and meet people and talk.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's great. And how much of the day is eaten up with the game?
4 hours.
4 hours, yeah. Well, but basing off the old game used to run for 4 hours, and that was kind of the sweet spot they've found. So we're aiming for like a 2 till 6.
Yeah, 2 till 6 p.m.
2 till 6.
Good time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hopefully cooling down.
Yeah, just cooling down towards the end.
Before dinner.
Yeah. Still got time to enjoy the festival nightlife without feeling like you're pushing too late or starting too early.
I feel
in the
like
heat.
you're giving a service to parents as well.
Yeah, well, that's what we hope.
There's something to occupy because I'm sure there's adults that are in this. I know a lot of them. A lot of them are my friends, and no shame. But this is teenage time, right?
Yeah,
this is teenagers.
I mean, the years that I played from when I was like 13 to 17, and it was like just the best thing ever through all those years. So we're hoping to really hit that group again and be like, hey, we know there's not a lot. Just come and play this through the bulk of the day.
Yeah.
It's good fun.
But also on top of that as well, like there was, when I was playing, I remember just seeing this whole group of 40-year-olds walking around in the craziest costume ever playing alongside us as well. So it's for everyone too. And it was really, really funny to see if you're younger than, is it 13? If you're younger than 13, you have to play with an adult. And so we were watching over the old footage, and the adults end up just playing.
Of course
they love it. Like they start playing like the kids like, oh, I'm like, please, like, can we play this? And it's like, all right, fine. They play for first day and they're like, hey, like, are we gonna do this game?
It's like those memes you see. It's like, a blokey dad watching a stereotypical girly thing first day, not into it. And then by the fourth day, it's dressing up.
On my first Woodford, and I found the game, I kind of got teamed up with this mum, and she had 2 kids who were too young, but they wanted to play. So the mum was playing for them. And she was like way more into it than the kids were. Like they were just her minions. And then like at the end of that quest, we kind of were going to split apart. And she was like, "That's really fun. You want to find each other again tomorrow and play again tomorrow?" And so I kind of became the third one of her children, and we just played the game for the rest of that festival, which was really fun.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds really exciting. Now, we don't need to talk about winners because I think the winning is being a part of this. But Ernie, you won.
I won.
You won the game in 2018.
Yes.
What did you win? Other than being able to tell all your mates on this team that you're a winner, so they should go with your ideas.
Oh yeah, for sure. Seniority beyond anything. But in terms of like what I got from the festival is I won a ticket to the next year's festival, season pass. So that was just awesome.
Yeah.
And just made me love the game even more. But no, that special feeling that I got of being feeling like I was really a part of like the history of this world and in this game. And I was like, wanted to kind of share that with others, which is why at the end of that one, I was like, hey guys, who wants to, like, everybody was kind of having a little party. And I was like, who wants to join my group of players next year and kind of like make a player faction out of this whole idea? And that's where,
that's what you guys
did.
That's where these guys, Leo and Jimmy came.
You know a winner when you see one.
Yeah,
like, I'm getting on that train.
Our first year we played, Ernie won, and he'd been talking about this for ages. And then first year, me and my brother were playing with a bunch of other people, and we had the straw hat, blue shirt, no real character, terrible name that I won't even mention because it was just so bad.
Come on.
No.
The name?
It was Killer Bo, and I was just bad. I just didn't know what I was thinking. It was just like, anyway. So then the next year,
Killer Bo's all right.
I got, for our birthday, we asked our parents, like, can we just get rainbow tie-dye, EVA foam? I want to make the coolest costume ever. And we linked up with Ernie and a bunch of all the other people we were playing with. We're going to be the Rainbow Knights. It's our new player faction.
I love that Killer Bo's no good, but Rainbow Knights, that gets a free
Rainbow Knights was great.
Rainbow Knights is cool.
And then, then we just got a bunch of tie-dye and then just turned up to the next year's festival, and we just looked like epic.
People would come up to us asking like for cards. They thought we were characters.
Yeah.
Like,
that's great.
It was awesome. And then my twin brother won the game that year. So we had 2 Rainbow Knights back to back, 2018, 2019.
Which, you're identical twins?
Yes, yeah.
Which genetically means you're a winner.
Yeah, well,
right? Because who won?
We're not identical, but I can still claim that. I still look like him a little bit. The Neon Ninja, that's his character name. And I turned into Rogue Rainbow, which I thought was much better than Killer Bo.
This is sick.
But yeah,
it's like hippie kids join gaming, and it's a lot of fun. Now, there's a couple of things. I know that if I just open the gate for you guys, we'll talk about this all day long, and I'm here for it. But we've got to wrap it up. You alluded to the numbers, but how many people are you going to have playing this game?
In terms of like a hard cap.
Oh, you don't need to be a hard cap. Just give us a ballpark.
We're hoping like around, in terms of not so much people just for the day, but like if they're going to interact and play for maybe like a full day or multiple days, like up to around 400.
Wow.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
That's what we really hope. We really hope we hit that.
Which is, what the old game was kind of hitting. Kind of on average.
And as we've said, it's going to whittle down just by the nature of the festival, and some people just play for the day.
Yeah.
That's
but as the years go, we hope to try and build. This is the first year that we could do this, and the game hasn't run for a while, so.
I mean, the goal's got to be by the 5th year, the whole festival's playing.
Yeah,
26,000 people.
Yeah, that'll be a logistical nightmare. But that is a goal for expansion as well.
Do people have to pre-register for this game?
No, not at all.
Just rock up.
Not at all.
Not at all. All you have to do is
build a costume.
How do I play?
It would be awesome if people
build a costume.
costumes.
You can build a costume. You don't even have to build a costume.
No, I'm saying it. You come with a costume.
Yeah, you come with a costume. But yeah, all you have to do if you want to play the game, just ask any character, even any player, how do I play? And they'll direct you to someone who will be able to tell you. They'll give you a little token, and off you go.
And you start it, and you're in.
Yeah. They'll give you a set of instructions, and that's you
make the barrier to entry as easy as you can.
Yeah.
Right. As soon as I mention this to my wife, she'll get the sewing machine out, and costumes will be started.
Oh, yeah. Great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to at least one day make sure I turn up in a costume.
Great.
That the Rainbow Knights would be proud of.
Yeah. That's the goal. Well, I mean, I would build on my costume every year. My first year I played, I just had a T-shirt and shorts, and then the next year for Christmas, my parents just got me a bunch of just costume elements right before Woodford, and I like built this kind of, I had a metal colander on my head and like Christmas bells that I had attached to a little spray painted chest piece with a rainbow tie-dye shirt and pants, and then the year after that, I added like a helmet and upgraded my armor. And then by the time we got to the final year, when Leo's brother won, I had like this leather hood with like leather gauntlets.
Like in a Queensland summer.
Yeah, two like fake swords on my back with like a big shield, big rainbow cape, the whole shebang, yeah.
Man, I love your energy. I needed this. It's a pick me up. Like I'm genuinely very excited to see what becomes of this energy, and seeing it. The weirdos, the beautiful weirdos that you're going to create running around this
well, you don't even
festival.
have to be a beautiful weirdo. Like
Well, you may not be at the start, but I reckon by the end.
Yeah, anyone can get into it, There's something for everyone. If you really enjoy puzzles, then there's puzzles. If you really enjoy role-playing, then there's role-playing. If you don't want to do the role-playing, you don't have to. You can just engage with the mechanics and the puzzles and, like, the whole game, like, sort of element to it. You can play however you want. There's something for everyone.
And if you see a kid running around the festival with a colander on his head, you'll know it's either a part of the game or it's one of my kids. Boys, that was excellent. Loved it.
Fantastic.
Great. Well done.
Thanks so much.
Good on you. Yeah, they're the champions of Woodfordia. They are the champions, but you could be the champion. I'm pumped up. I'm going to make a costume. You should go and get on their Instagram. It's champions.of.woodfordia. There's also a website that we probably won't even put it here, so I look like an idiot. It'll be in the show notes. I don't even know what they are. They don't let me see them. That seems like a whole lot of fun and exhausting. Thanks. You should become a citizen. You can get more content and heaps of other rad things that are given to you throughout the year. Thanks for the music from the East Pointers. Thanks to the producers, who are the wonderful team at Woodfordia. Like and subscribe. I'm your host, Harley Breen. Cheers.